If you don't have a pink card, you gotta have a pink card because that tells us how many occupants we have in here. If you're planning on speaking and you haven't filled out a comment sheet, do that now, because that's how we're gonna call you. And we're gonna call you the order of those sheets. So, is everybody good? We're getting ready to start. We're out. So if you don't have a card, that's what I'm saying. Did you give your card to somebody else? No, you have to have a pink card. We're getting started, 7:06.
Okay, I'm going to call to order the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for the town of St. Paul. It's around 7:06 on January 30th, 2024. First order of business is the roll call.
Gary Bett.
Here.
Gary Doors.
Here.
Gary Strait.
Here.
And if I could get y'all to silence your phones. Megan Kaminsky. Here. Brett Trevino. Ronnie Fetzer. We have one.
All right, so we're going to talk about the decorum for the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting today. Tonight's speakers have already signed up, as was noted, to speak one at a time. Each speaker will have no more than 3 minutes to present on the subject of the public meeting, which is the SUP of the application for 3990 Lakeway Drive. Speakers, once you are recognized by the P&Z chair to speak, and we'll go in order, you will need to come to the front, in front of the first row of chairs, face the P&Z Commission, and address them only. Foul language or cursing will not be tolerated. You must stand subject. Only the speaker has the floor until they are finished or their 3 minutes have elapsed. When the speakers are finished or their 3 minutes have elapsed, they should return to their seat, and then we'll move on to the next speaker. The P&Z Commission will not address questions during the public portion of the meeting, but will absorb the various speakers' statements as they speak. Please stay on topic, which is the SUP for the 3990 Lakeway. Once the P&Z Commission has heard all of the speakers that had signed up, the public meeting will be formally closed. At that time, the P&Z Commission will ask questions directed at the SUP applicants or the owner and the owner of the 3990 Lakeway Drive property. No additional comments will be heard from the public at that time. There will be a decision after we get our questions answered as to whether we will make a recommendation, but the recommendation will go to the council, and it will be the council's decision as to how they react to that recommendation. We also might not have enough information, so we may postpone that decision until we get whatever additional documents we may request. All right, so with that, our next is the approval of the meetings from last minute. So with the commission take a look at last meeting's minutes. And once that's done, I'll take a motion. Excuse me, to approve.
A motion to approve the meeting from the minutes from last meeting.
Second half.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, they're approved. Alright, so we're going to open the public hearing to take comments on a request for a specific use permit by Lakeway Shopping Plaza Incorporated with regard to operate a place of worship at 3990 Lakeway Drive, commonly known as Collin County Appraisal District Property ID 2672684, Lakeway Business Park, Lot 2A, replat. The property is zoned commercial retail. The zoning district permits the use of a specific use of a church with a specific use permit. So with that, do we know the order?
Done.
Oh, you gave it, oh, you, okay. All right, so before the regular order of things, can we have the applicant give us the reason why they want to apply for the SUP?
Yes.
Can you state your name, sir? I'm sorry.
My name is Zayed. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, we applied for this sub-application because we were notified by the town hall that in the office that we need the permit. Our community has grown, and probably there were some concerns from the neighbor about the parking situation because we have more attendees for our regular prayers. So we were requested. We've been in the location for about 12 years now. We started around 2013, 14. We grew from a smaller location within the building to a bigger location. And as the community is growing, the city is growing, we are going through growing pains. So we are managing it. We have changed our prayer times. We have changed, advised the community how to park, where not to park. We are monitoring that. We have now landlord offered us another piece of land in the rear, which is about half an acre, that can fit another 50 spots for us. So we're preparing that. So we have a whole list of things that we are trying to address the situation, that the concern that our neighbors have. We recently met all the neighbors on the street just to understand what their concerns are. They gave us good feedback. They were very nice and they were very open in conversation with us. So we have their feedback also, and we're implementing the changes based on their feedback. So hopefully we hope to stay in the same place until we find a new house and move the church completely from that location. At this point, I respect the community that they are going through growing pains with us, and hopefully they continue to support us till we situate somewhere else. And at this point, we're educating our attendees also not to violate any rules of the parking and be watchful about being safe. Safety is the primary concern for us, so we're managing that. That's all I want to say.
Okay. Then all from the group. Okay. Just you for the group.
So we have Michael also. We are all applicants here, if you allow, on our behalf also.
Is anybody who wants to speak, you can speak.
Michael, did you want to say anything?
Sure.
What's your full name, Michael?
Michael Wolfender.
Okay.
I recently moved from Allen to Wylie, and in Allen we have a similar situation with a small parking lot. So I'm very accustomed. You could consider it a deacon in the Allen community for the imam of that center. So I've been there for 10 years, and I've been helping with parking management, volunteers for parking management, educating the community on things that need to be done so that the neighbors are not bothered by our worship. So at ICW, like Zayed had said, we divided the service on Fridays so that it's a smaller crowd. And we're in communication with the neighbors so that we understand from them what is the best plan of action so that we don't cause any disturbance in the Friday around noon prayer times, as well as the month of Ramadan, which is coming around the corner, about a month and a half, where we expect the same, relatively same crowd as we have on Friday noons in the evenings during Ramadan. Thank you.
Anything from you? Please tell me your name.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Zayed. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. We've been here for almost 12 years, and the town is growing, population is growing, more houses coming nearby. So we had the parking concern, and we try to solve this problem. And in future, we will hire somebody who can direct the traffic. And we have cops coming in on Friday, and I've been communicating with them. And we educate our people how to park. And there was few wrong parking, now it's fixed. And then we had only Friday is for 1 hour we get crowded, you know. So we had 2 prayer now, so everybody's not coming at the same time. So it's kind of controlled. That's like what I say, we have some space over there. In future we can have more parking, either concrete or gravel, whatever the city. And if there is any city requirement, we try to meet it, you know. And we apologize if it cause anyone in the neighborhood inconvenient. And we willing to work with city and the neighborhood. Thank you.
All right, so from the citizen's perspective, the first one is Justin, I don't know the last name, Graham? Justin Graham?
Yep.
Right, this guy, sorry. So Justin Graham, 3525 Lakeway Drive. Per last week's article at stpollpost.com, there are 70 parking spots, required parking spots for ICW, 23 available parking spots, making them 47 spots short of compliance per ordinance 14.1. Some additional events since the PNC data report have transpired. On Sunday afternoon, leadership from the ICW kindly handed out chocolate treats and contact information to the residents on Lakeway Drive. Thank you for that. They mentioned that if we have any questions regarding the parking situation, we should contact them. They specifically asked about our concerns and mentioned they split their Friday service into 2, which they already mentioned. They also mentioned kind of 3 other things. So one being that they would move their parking to be on their side of the street, so that it reduce crossovers and improve traffic flow. The second step would be to pour gravel on the lot behind the ICW, which should help out with the parking spots. Kind of talking with some folks after that, it seems like that's going to be a bit more complicated because I don't think we allow gravel. And then the last item they already mentioned was to guide, to let ICW guide traffic. So my point of view on this is they all seem like great steps towards reducing the traffic burden and relieve safety concerns, but I do believe these plans need to be put in writing so we can all be held accountable to it. So I think most of these steps can be implemented now without further input, but as it stands today, they're not in compliance. You know, they're well short of the parking requirement. So, but I do feel for the first time there is a path towards getting approval. That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next one is Malek.
Hi everyone. I'm a resident here, Inspiration, like literally right across the street. We love the community here, the family community feeling, and we moved here because we wanted to raise our kids here. Me and my wife take our kids to the Islamic Center of Wylie, and we wanted to raise them to be connected to God and be good citizens. I think there's a narration from the Prophet Muhammad, that Gabriel kept reminding him about the rights of the neighbor so much that he thought perhaps the neighbors will get inheritance rights. So we as a community should strive to be super nice to the neighbors, and continuing to have this place of worship in the community is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
All right, the next one is Yusef.
Can I stand here? Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, members, and audience. I just want to say that I wasn't really prepared for this speech, but I felt that I'm obliged to add my name there and address everyone here by saying that I recently moved to Texas from San Francisco, California. And the reason I moved here was really based on the work I do. I work for the Public Companies Oversight Board, and I audit public companies, and I inspect those public accounting firms. I visited almost every town and city in the US, and you name it, across all states. This is where I felt that I belonged the most. St. Paul, whether you call it St. Paul, Wylie, I live in Inspiration here, 2 minutes from this town hall. I do feel, so I've been going to this worship place the most for the past 6 months since I moved here. My wife, my kids, my wife, my kids and I, we're all attached to it. And this is not only a community that we've built so far, this is also extending to Inspiration. We're getting people to know what we belong to as part of this state. I just want to add here that I do hear all the concerns. We were debriefed prior to joining this session, but I want to say that there are procedures that are already being implemented. We've discussed those. We're talking about, even in addition to what the gentleman discussed here, we're talking about carpooling as well, coming from Inspiration towards the place of worship. So I appreciate you hearing us today, and I thank you for your time.
Okay, the next one is Bill King.
Bill King, 803 West Shore Drive, been in St. Paul since 1981. No business should ever put a burden on the people around it, of any city. I understand growing pains. I had a business in Plano. We got too big for where I was at. I did sell the business. The person that bought it moved it to a bigger area so that they could do the work that he wanted to do. I've heard a lot of excuses, but I haven't heard a lot of remedies. If a business is going to expand, if there's not enough room, it needs to move. That's simple. If they need more land, then they need to buy more land. But business expansion is usually based on the fact that they have a plan going forward. They purchase land, they purchase buildings, they purchased equipment, and then they make that move to that expansion. These people haven't made that move. They haven't bought extra land and then expand their product. They're expanding and then waiting for everything else to fill in. When you expand a business, you gotta have those plans, you gotta have those plans in writing, and those plans should be available for anybody. I don't think they have it for y'all, other than the fact that they basically stood up here and said what we can do. We can carpool and we can, park on one side of the street, when actually parking on the street at all is a safety hazard. I think just about anybody would agree with that, because if you have your little kids running around playing balls or anything like that, you don't want cars parked there where they're gonna run out and somebody can get hit. Also, it has more room for accidents and that type of thing. So my opinion and my feelings is that great, expansion is great. I hope the business is doing great. I hope they get a lot of people in their church. That's a super deal. But you need to plan not for the next 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. You need to plan for the next year, 2 years, 5 years. And to do that, they need to acquire land around them to do that, so that they don't make a burden on the people that live there. It would be no different than if somebody started an automotive shop next to your house and was revving their engines up all the time. Nobody wants to be around that, right? So when we have businesses in the city of St. Paul, the best thing to do is to look at the people that are living around them, see what their response is to this business, what their complaints are. And if a business is having growing pains, I have no problem helping them, but the bottom line is they have to help themselves. They have to have a plan in writing stating that we're gonna buy this property, that we're not gonna park here, we're not gonna park there, we're gonna park here. My business in the city of Plano, if I parked on the street, I got tickets. So, pay attention to the people around.
Okay, Muhammed Zayed.
Hi, my name is Muhammed Farid. I right here in Wylie, right across from the city hall actually in Wylie. I've been here since 2013. I live in the city of Wylie three times. I understand what Mr. Bill is saying. I agree with him. Of course, it is painful. Like, you know, most of the brothers have mentioned here that we are trying. Of course, we are educating the community. Of course, you know, to how to park and to how to, you know, I mean, not to park illegally or places where aren't supposed to park. I mean, we want to raise our children here. Texas is home. For me, Dallas is home. I don't like any other city. I've been living here for the last 27 years. Not going anywhere either. So, you know, I mean, like Brother Muhammad mentioned, you know, I mean, it is part of our faith. We love thy neighbor. You know, I mean, same like our Christian brothers. You know, we love thy neighbor. Make sure you're not burden on anybody. You're not, you know, disrespectful to anybody, whether you are helpful towards them. We are, of course, a place of worship. We are looking at things where we can expand, where we can purchase property. Property prices are right now through the roof. So we are trying to collect funds in that too, where we can go to a stable place. We want to raise our children in this society, and, you know, we want them to be part of, you know, the fabric of America. So, and of course, you know, our kids come there, like, you know, any parent, whether you go to Walmart or you go to a place of worship, if kids run around, we try to control them the best we can. You know, any parent would agree to that. You know, you try your best to hold on to your kids so they don't run into the car or anybody else. So, but we are doing our best. We are educating the community. We like everybody mentioned here. We are trying to park on one side of the street where it's easier for the neighbors to literally race through the street, not to be troubled by anybody else. Especially, I understand, you know, Ramadan is coming and the evening time it gets dark there. We are talking to people, you know, we make sure that if there are cars coming, you do not move until that car has passed and stuff. And same thing, you know, we do to keep their children, you know, onto them, not to let them run around.
15 seconds.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it for hearing me out.
All right, Yuzer.
Good evening, respected board, and good evening, everyone. The problem is there, we don't deny that, but there's always a way out for improving the thing. So I come from an IT background, so my managers always talk about operational excellence, service excellence, and all those things. So in terms of the traffic congestion, in terms of the parking, we as volunteers are planning to come up with a group of members who can volunteer the traffic during the time of congestion so that the neighbors do not get into any problems. There is no traffic stops or the cars are not able to move. So with education to our community, we are also trying to put volunteers on the ground so that they can guide the traffic, they can make sure that the kids won't roam around and there are no challenges to the neighbors. And yes, there are concerns. We apologize for those concerns, but we are working towards some kind of guidelines with the guidelines we define, we want to enforce them. so that there's no problem going forward. And at the same time, we're also trying to expand ourselves with more property and purchasing the land. But as of now, what we have is improve the quality of the service so that instead of passive neighbors, they become, the promoters of our community and the society we live in. And one last thing, I had a party back home, and my neighbor Jeremy, he saw a lot of cars coming in, and he came out and nicely said, if you want to use my parking, you can, as long as you want to. So I was like, thank you so much, God bless you. And he kind of is very interested to know what we do. So I invited him to interfaith meetings where he can learn more about our faith and the values that we want to bring in terms of the good neighborhood, in terms of the brotherhood amongst each other. Thank you so much for hearing me.
Okay, Jana Zayed.
Hello, I'm Jana Zayed. We live at 3915 Lakeway Drive, directly across from the shopping center, the retail center. So we do bear a lot of the brunt of, the parking issues. However, we have no issue with them in their place of worship and getting a special use permit. I hope that we can all work together. I think we need a lot more of that in our lives, working together to make sure that it works for everybody. Yeah, we have no issues. Okay.
Thank you.
Dennis Reed.
I'm Dennis Reed. I live at 3915 Lakeway Drive with my wife Jana, and she just mentioned that we don't have any issues with it. We've been there for about 11 years, I think it is now. I think we've been there most of the time that you've been across the street, and we've had no issues with it. I've met a few of them on the street and talked to them. They've been very polite, very cordial, so I don't have any issues, and I support them getting the specific permit and allowing them to continue. I like the plans that they spoke about tonight about making the parking better. That's good. You recently marked off some areas that are no parking by car hydrants and that kind of thing. That's also a good step. So I'm in support of the permit.
Thank you.
Camden Davis.
Hi, my name's Camden Davis. I live at 3645 Lakewood Drive. I included in my application 3 pictures that were taken last Friday, probably around 1 o'clock. Well, I appreciate the ICW's attempt to split their worship times. As you can see in the picture, there's over 20 cars parked on both sides of the street. The parking spots within and around the building that they're currently located in was totally full, and the telephone switching station parking lot, which probably has another 6 or 8 slots next to that building, was also full. The issues that I see currently is there is no sidewalks on Lakewood Drive, so when they park down both sides, as you can see in the first picture, they have to walk down the road. That's a safety concern. The second picture, you can see traffic servicing the business at the end of the road, truck and 2 cars trying to come down the road, vying for space, no way around. And then the last picture, the other issue that you run into when they do this is that the people parked on, not facing 1378, tend to try to pull out in the middle of the road and come, block the drive, trying to get back out to 1378 versus going down and coming back in on Parker Road. I have no concerns with the people, the activity that's going on there, but if they requested splitting their times, it's not working, because last Friday at noon, 1 o'clock, you see what was there. I think, part of the problem is, I'm not sure that tenant is the only tenant that has activities going on in that building at that point in time. I believe there's somebody on the east side of that building that also has a large number of people that attend, whatever activities going to, into that suite. And when everybody is there at the same time, the parking is just out of control and it's unsafe. Thank you.
Craig Cosgrove?
My name's Craig Cosgrove. I've been in St. Paul for 19 years. And, as long as we get the parking under control and everybody does right, it's all good. I've known a lot of these guys, a lot of these people for 19 years. So everybody can work together and make it work.
Michael Wolfender? Did I say it right? Oh, okay, you already said it.
I've already spoken.
Okay, sorry, you were in here, but you're, alright. Okay. All right, and Dr. Saber Zayed, is that another one who's already spoken? You've already spoken, so you're an applicant too. Okay, so that is all the speakers that we have. The one guy who didn't speak. Do you want to say something as an applicant?
Yes, thank you very much. I didn't know that you remember my presence over here. We, as the owner of this property.
Excuse me, what's your name, sir?
Oh, my name is Tarik Malik. We bought this property back in 2000, I think even 2000, I believe so. And this property was marked not as a residential to all those, my brothers, those who think that this is a residential area and we bought this property in residential area and marked it as a commercial. This is a commercial zone. And when we bought this property for many, many years, this law was imposed on us that we cannot use one entrance from the lakeward side. And when we talked to the previous owner who built this property, he said, heck no, there is no way this law can be forced on you. They are wrongfully, putting something on you, which is not right. That was resolved. We are here to understand the problem and we want to resolve the issues. I know we have a problem. Sometimes people, when they come in a rush, they park on the street, which is not straight park or park on the hydrant, park in front of somebody's gate. We understand. We have to work together. We don't want to create an issue for all the people, business-wise or residential-wise. I have seen very few people came here to come up with a solution. 2 people came, they said, we have no issues. Give us the solutions. Problem, everybody knows we have this problem. And this problem is only for one day, Friday. After that, when everybody's gone, after Friday prayer, the roads are empty. And wherever you go today, people park cars on the street because it's a public place. There is no restriction on anyone to park their car anywhere on the road. Tell me if there is any law that nobody can park on the street. So why this town people trying to raise problem to this shopping center or to this place of worship? You go to different place of worship, even churches. When they have no place, they park on the roads. So when they live together for 1 hour or 2 hours in one day in a week, why can't we live in harmony? Why we create such a big issue? Because they are not what we believe in? Oh, come on, stop this thing, come up with a solution, not a problem. We are going to live together. If we create a problem, we create a friction, and that friction will become big problem over the period of time. We are very much peace-loving owner of this city. Ever since we bought this land, I'm just going to wrap it up. We never had any kind of problem with city of St. Paul. You can look at the history since we bought this land. Whatever city of St. Paul asked us to do it, maybe sometime it took a little time for us to resolve those issues, but we cooperated with the city. We want your cooperation, not to penalize us being the owner of this property and let our tenants to move out of, because city says, oh, you cannot park here. No, sir, I don't agree with you. 1 hour or 2 hours in 1 week should be tolerable. So please help us and don't create issues. Thank you very much.
Did we get more time?
Sir, are you one of the owners, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, we ought to get an extra minute or two.
Okay. All right, so we've heard from the residents as far as the public hearing, so now can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll motion to close the vote.
Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All right, so at this time, the public hearing is closed. All right, so now what we're gonna do is, we've got some questions for you guys, and maybe we can help with a solution. But there's a couple things that we received, like the drawings. I think those could be better, because I had trouble understanding I've never been in the facility, so there's stuff that I need more knowledge of. And then if you are entertaining a parking lot, there was no drawing of a parking lot either in back. And there are rules and ordinances around what you can put as a surface for the parking lot. So, so what your SUP is for suites 109, 110, and 111, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And 112 is not part of you guys, okay? How many parking spaces are there?
Sir, I don't remember off the head.
I think again, I had trouble determining that from the drawing, but what we need is a clear distinction of how many parking spots there are. I think I counted around 34 or something like that.
Something like that, but I don't have an exact count in my head.
No, these are things that we're gonna require from you, so that we can actually vote and make a decision on this stuff.
We are also trying to put a parking space in the back. We are trying to pivot.
Right.
To accommodate the,
And that needs to be part of your drawing as well.
Yes.
So that we know what size you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Because if you put down in the back, a 4 foot by 20 yards long, that's probably not gonna really help. So we need to understand, and that wasn't included in your drawings either.
Yes, sir.
So you would need more understanding, a clearer drawing, include that.
Yes, sir.
And if you have anything else planned for the future, if you are ready to disclose that, but those should be all parts of the drawing that you provide. There was one drawing that I saw that I absolutely have no idea. There was nothing on it. It was just a square with a bunch of lines through it. All this stuff is not really an issue, but it's hard to judge on what we're looking at when, in fact, it's not clear. So we have to have it clear. Okay, there's requirements for the drawings, and those can be specified. All right, so the other thing about the drawings, and this is just things that we need cleared up, there were 3 suites. There was, it looked like a kitchen in one. It's hard to tell where the bathrooms were. Obviously, those are being used, but are they accessible by all 3 suites? Oh, they are, okay. But if you could make that clear.
Yes.
Okay? And do each one of the suites have a different purpose, or are they all for,
They're all the same.
they're all for the prayer?
First three are the same,
Okay.
and last is a bit.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about 112, I'm talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
109, 110, and 111.
They're one.
Okay. And they all have access to the bathroom,
Yes,
as you
sir.
said. I saw in one of them that it said you had 4,050 square feet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Altogether,
Yeah, altogether.
But was that just one of the suites, or was that all of the three?
Together.
Together.
Again, that needs to be clear.
Yes,
One of the
okay.
suite is 1,300 square feet.
1,350.
I saw that too on one of them, and then one
The
didn't have any
three
marking
of
on
them
it, and then
up
the
to
other,
4,000.
and the other one had.
Whatever city requires, we are more than happy to, provide
Okay.
you and have.
That, we will need clarity there.
Absolutely.
And
No
so
problem.
we can tell you what we're looking for.
Yes, sir.
Specifically what has to be on each drawing,
Correct.
so that we can better understand. And, okay, and then, I'd like to understand what the maximum number of people that have been in the church at any one time, because you kinda have to, if that's a possible peak, then you need to, attend to that, right?
Yes, sir.
And their parking should cover that. And then if you care to share, do you have any plans for the rest of that property? Cause you own the whole.
Yes, sir. And I'm sorry, I was out of country and I was
Yeah.
in the meeting, and when he called me that I have to come and attend, and I was late few minutes. But if you give me a few days, we will definitely work with the city and try to answer all the questions and satisfy all the needs that city asks us to, make sure that there's an ample parking space available for the worshipers and for the other tenants as well.
Okay. All right, well, I was gonna ask a question if you thought about additional parking, but you've already answered that. Because as some of the people here have said, it appears that there, at times, there's not adequate parking. Yes, parking on the street, okay, but there is a safety, if they're on both sides and cars can't get up and down, and they have to walk on the street because there's no sidewalks. Okay?
That's.
And so we're concerned about safety as well as you guys are, so. all
We
right.
start telling our people that don't park on the other side, park on this side if not necessary. Maybe only Friday for 30 minutes, they'll park few car on the other side.
Okay.
And we'll have some volunteer who can watch if somebody's crossing. And we don't let kids play or run around over there. If they leave with their parents.
Okay. All right, additional things, now this is just me, they may have questions for you too, but I just started out to get that one. All right, so as I said, more detail in the drawings. Need to better understand what's in the suites and what's the makeup of the suite. And then we will provide a list of things to you guys through LeAnn.
Yes.
So that you know what we're looking for. And I didn't mean to hog everything. Do you guys have any other questions or statements you want to make relative to that?
About the parking, if I may.
Sure.
Mr. Malek.
Yes, sir.
Is this what you're referring to, something that you submitted about new parking? Is this something from you? I can't read any of this.
I don't know.
I think that came from, Malik.
These are all the parkings. We have parking here, we have parking here, and we have parking here, and it's in, I think the street.
Okay.
This is the street, and then some people park here.
And that's what I was trying to. We are also trying to accommodate this area in the back, because we have some parking, vacant sitting back here for us,
There's no pavement back there now.
Not right now. We would ask the most people to use this, but city said you cannot park on the grass area. We appreciated their concern, and we stopped doing the right way. So we are here, LeAnn knows us very well, and we are here to, whatever city asks us, we are ready to help and provide and work with the city.
So is there a time that you begin, ground spray ground down starting that parking area?
We are already working on it. My brother, who's partner with me on this property, he is running for a state senate position at this moment. And he is very busy in campaign, but I am working with him. I was out of country for a few weeks. I just recently came back, So let me talk to him, and we will come back to you and talk to the end. Wherever, however, you need our, help and answers your questions, we are ready to. Because we want this city happy with us. We are happy with you.
And that is just questions about capacity, limit the building.
Right, and that's gonna take the clear, you guys are gonna have to give us a clear drawing.
Yes, sir.
The other thing that I would ask is, okay, you've heard all the citizens and them speak, and they're concerned about getting hurt and safety, and you've heard all that stuff. So, I'd like to see a list from you, as what you're willing to do, as well, as what, we'll give you a list that we need, but can you provide a list of what you're willing to do, or can you speak to it right now?
Yes, sir, we are willing to work whatever you need from us, and we will share with you what we are trying to do. For the safety of people, those who come to the worship place, or those who live on the street.
Okay, and I will need that in writing, obviously, because that's the way things work.
Yeah, no problem, no problem, we can do it.
So one of the feedback that we got from the neighbors is that we don't have enough street lights on that street also. So gets very dark in the nighttime.
Yeah.
And
There's no light at all on the street.
so there's no light poles on the whole street. So that's the feedback on the.
Can we stop the side conversations in the back, please?
So that's the feedback the neighbors gave about that. They have been asking, there's only one water supply tank that probably has a light, and that barely suffices what we need on the street. And another issue that we have the other tenant also, they have a lot of parking spots requirement, right? So when they have their meeting in the evenings, so it conflicts with our, doesn't even conflict, majority of the parking is done by them also in the evening time. So they have classes anywhere from 6 to 8, 9 p.m. and they have a large group, it's a Wylie group, is the organization, and they have a good number of people that come there, so.
Is there any existing lighting on the building now, and is there any proposed for, if you do add a parking lot, to put parking lot?
We are trying to build a parking lot in the back. And like I said, I was not prepared today because I was called last moment. And we will definitely provide you all the, drawings for the parking in the back. And we definitely give you an ample, parking space in the back. So.
No, but the building, the question is building has lighting.
Building has lighting, yes.
Currently, is there lights?
Yes, we have all the lighting.
The lot is
Building
all
has
fully
lighting.
lit up, but if you go to the.
Well, the street has no light.
Just not down the street.
Yeah, no, it's liquid.
The street is quite wide, it doesn't have any street pole, right? So that's the feedback from the neighbors, and we really like that. It would give more visibility, so people are, even if it is parked on both sides, it become, it's more visible, right? Right now.
It's more safety,
It's more
street
safety
pole light.
hazard from that point.
Okay, so. Alright, I'm gonna need that list from you guys in writing, and then we will provide what is needed. You're gonna have to draw the parking lot, and that has requirements for lighting, surface, etc. And you'll have to meet those as well. I think at this time, you guys tell me, I don't think we have enough information at this point in time to approve this. Not in this meeting. Now, we meet again next month, and if you think you could have it, was it third Tuesday, right? Of February?
Yeah, we may need to adjust it so that, Mr. Dillon can be here.
Okay. All right, well, it will be published as to when the meeting is. I guess it, typically we try to have it third Tuesday. But, so if you will provide a list of what you are willing to provide, and then we'll have to match that with.
I promise with you and all city members that we will try our best to provide you all the answers during the time frame that you are giving it to us. In case there is any unseen delay which is beyond my control or anybody's control, we will keep the city informed, and we will ask for the extension if needed. But I'm very much confident that we can provide you all those information for the meeting.
All right,
Will you be the main contact, or
You can add my name on it and
Or Nasir.
add Nasir and my name, oh, that's fine.
just so that I know who we're actually?
Nasir is mostly in Houston area right now, and I'm in Jana, so you can CC me as well. I will provide you my name and number if you don't have it.
the person that's in Houston, is that a relative of yours?
My brother, we are.
Oh, your brother, okay.
Yeah, Nasir is my brother.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, so with that, I think I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second
All in favor? All right, we are officially adjourned. I appreciate your patience and your cooperation, as well as your comments.
Thank you, sir.